Welcome to Whose Turn Is It Anyway, a podcast all about our gaming group and of course board games. I'm Kerley, your current first player, and I am joined by my other co-host, Davey.
Hello!
JP.
Hello!
And, for the first time, Dan Upsy.
Hello! Hey!
Welcome, Dan.
Hello! Amazing to be here.
Excellent. Glad to have you, mate.
So Dan, you obviously appeared in our previous episodes.
I am the only person, this is record breaking, I am the only person that's been a guest and is now featured on as a player.
Absolutely.
On the pod.
Yeah.
I might have to get you a medal. I think that's what we're going to have to do, isn't
Adrian said that he wanted to do an erection, steady now, of a statue in my name. I said it wasn't necessary. I
wondered where this was going.
But then we realised we had budget cuts, so we've got a certificate.
A poorly written certificate.
Yeah,
I
just
settled
comprises
for a
of an
folded
A4
certificate.
sheet
Yeah.
with, bit of biro,
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
But in all seriousness, it's great to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
We've had, I think, ever since that episode, we've kind of always kept in touch, right? And obviously with the board game marathon, which we fully love. And
I don't know
fully
anything
support.
about it.
Yeah, sure. No. But we fully love it, we fully support it, and we had such a blast this year and last year. And
Looking forward to January.
Yes, with the mini marathon.
Yeah.
Yes, which is going to be good, and tickets going very, very well. Looking forward to that.
But
It's
it's
great.
good to have you as a player.
Yes.
As a regular member.
It's nice to come and talk about board games with other players who are also friends. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
As the first time people appear on the podcast, there's a couple of little questions for you, just to give people a bit of an idea of some of your, favourite games, things like that. So start us off. Dan, what's your favourite game?
Kaplunk. No, it's
I was
not.
going to say, if you answer this
not.
wrong, then we kick you off.
I know, yeah. One episode, and he's gone. Never to be seen again.
This is a test.
Frostpunk is my all-time number one favourite, and it's been there for a while. And I think people have said, "Oh, is it not just because it's the new hotness and it's amazing at the time?" Like, no, I really, really love this game. It is truly incredible. And I'm not a big fan of co-ops. I know, shock, right? But I love this game because of the narrative. It's strong themed. I love the video game anyway, so I was kind of buzzing for this when it comes out. When it finally landed and I played it, and it plays completely different to the video game, but with the same kind of thematics that you expect from it, and it's truly incredible. I love it. I haven't got it to the table too many times, but enough to make my judgment call on it that it is my number one top spot. But it is brilliant, and it does take a long time to play. You need 6 hours and a few cups of teas, but if you can get through it, it is truly worth it.
Only a few.
Only a few.
Only a few.
Only a few.
Dan rations his cups of teas when I'm round
It's
there.
like JP.
Yeah.
No.
We only get one.
No.
One and done.
done.
Yeah, one and done.
What's the rule, Davey?
You can make your own.
I make you the first one.
Yeah.
Makes the first one.
And if you want more, you know where the kitchen is.
But in my
exactly,
house,
exactly.
sometimes I don't even do that.
No.
I just get on with the game and right, this is the game.
True.
And
You're first player around your house, right?
Always.
And
Always.
Yeah.
And he's always yellow, even when
And
it's
he's
not
always-
his game.
This is a thing in my house. I have some sort of illness. I don't know what it is. I have to be yellow, otherwise I get salty.
yeah.
And if I'm not yellow,
Or first.
Or first. No, not first. Look, my brother always had Luigi. He was Luigi.
So you're blaming him.
I am always Mario. I'm sorry. It's just the way it goes.
And you might think that Dan's joking from his tone, but
not.
I will say the first player bit is not quite true. Certain games he's always sets himself up as
Nemesis.
first player.
Nemesis
is an example, but it's not all of them. But yellow, he actually gets shitty about.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
I play yellow so much, I can't play another colour because I believe that I'm yellow. I'm like, I'm doing really, really well. You're not yellow, mate. Yeah, of course. And then I hide my head in shame. But yeah, that's it. I'm stuck in my ways now. Has to be yellow. Terrible.
That's fair enough.
If there's no yellow, then it'll have to be like a soft beige.
Yeah, wood colour.
Yeah, wood colour. Yeah, wood. I'll have the wood one, please.
And if it doesn't have either of them, you just don't play it.
No.
Right, fair enough.
No.
Fair enough.
Sell it.
I'm done with that. So, Dan, what game are you enjoying right now?
Voidfall. I absolutely love Voidfall. I know the pod has spoken about it a lot, but it is truly fantastic. It's another Mind Clash smash, in my opinion. I think I own all Mind Clash games now, I think, and it's up there. I haven't quite decided where I'm going to kind of put it in my kind of top 10, but it's going in there. If you like 4X and you like space, which I do, Twilight Imperium, I love you, but you know there's a special place in my heart right now for Voidfall.
Good choice.
Yeah. I have to say we're definitely on the boat with that.
Oh
one,
yeah,
mate,
100%.
so.
Yeah, so it's hit one of my top 5 already.
Yeah.
You've
gone-
I went balls deep. In
I was going to
yeah.
say, I was literally going to say you went balls deep.
Yeah.
And you took the balls out of my mouth.
Yeah.
It's always nice
Later,
before the
darling.
pod to take the balls out of the mouth, right?
Dan then looks over at the table and wonders what he's let himself in for.
You knew.
And with that, welcome to the pod, Dan. You are very, very welcome here, my friend.
Oh, thanks.
And we're looking forward to doing many, many episodes with you.
Can't wait.
And we'll move on to the next segment.
Let's do it.
Right, and let's talk about Hex. So, JP, what have you been up to, my friend?
I've been playing a lot of solo stuff. I've been kind of recuperating after the holiday.
Is that because you're miserable, or...?
It's because I don't want to see you lot.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You're now a master of solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to call you something else, but
No, please don't.
Sure thing, Billy.
But no, I came back off holiday, had loads of games, and like a week was mega packed with podcast stuff and gaming. And then kind of this week, been taking it more easy, which has been nice actually. So played a little bit of Voidfall solo, but I'm not talking about that. I'm actually going to talk about my other game, which is Hoplomachus Victorum, which is a solo only game made by Chip Theory Games. And you guys have probably all played.
who's Chip Theory?
I don't know. Do you know who Chip Theory is?
They're a new publisher.
Okay.
Never heard of them.
Definitely haven't sunk over $1,000 into their product.
No.
God, am I off?
JP's funded the
Yeah,
company.
I've kept them
CEO,
afloat.
if anything,
Kept
aren't
them
you?
afloat. Biggest shareholder.
Yeah.
I wish. But no, you guys have played Remastered, which is the kind of competitive against each other.
And loved it.
And,
Yeah, it was good.
you know, kind of bash
Very
each other kind of thing. Well, Victorium's, like I say, you just play on your own, and it's the most lavish, overproduced board gaming experience that you can treat yourself with. That's the only thing I can kind of explain. It's absolutely stunning.
You've got no one else to show your pieces to, really, do you?
No,
so
it's like-
it's more like, this is just for me.
I feel guilty. Well, not that guilty.
Yeah.
But the fact that I kind of get this game out and no one else gets to see it, and no one else gets to play it but me.
You should get a throne next as well. So whenever you play it, you pull out this throne and you sit at, and then you're like, right, I'm playing Hot Play today.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's just
Aren't we going into like LARPing territory? Like, he's going to dress up in
How far is-
full Centurion outfit,
And no one's gonna see it.
Just like imagine coming in with a loincloth and gladius or something.
For my own self-enjoyment.
it's just for me, Shell. It's just for me.
And then, every time a piece
oiled
is
up.
gone, you're like, whoa, thumbs up
Yeah.
or thumbs down, whoa, thumbs down.
So the premise of the game is you pick one of the 7 characters that are across this mythical world, and they're all based off the same factions that you play in Remastered. So you've got like the new Argonauts, you've got the Amazons, you've got the Kunlun and the Lemosians, etc. So you kind of pick their champion to kind of play as, and you start with a certain level of stats and certain skills that you would have, and you kind of have these kind of other kind of special skills called prowesses, and they're like this deck of cards that you can unlock throughout the game, and you give yourself more and more abilities and just make yourself more powerful and level up. And you kind of traverse the world over a 4-act campaign, and each kind of act takes probably a couple of hours. So you're looking at, to do a game of Victorum, it's probably about 6 to 8 hours if you really just crack on with it. And you kind of travel the world. You're doing like bloodshed events, which are lethal, that are to the death, and you're kind of recruiting kind of units to help you with your band from all the different regions as well. So each region has their own kind of uniqueness about them, their own special skills, what you're after. Very similar to what you've played in Remastered. And then so you kind of traversing the world, and until at the end of each act, you have to kind of fight a boss, which is called a Primus, and they are one of the opposing heroes that you didn't pick. and you go and try and duff them up, and all the way to the end of the 4th act you are taking down the Scion. So these Scions are these big bad beasts that you got to kill, like the Hydra and Teoti and all these other kind of mythical creatures that have come from mythology. I don't think he's one of them. Pluto is one of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Pluto is, and Pluto's like the big bad in the entire game.
Yeah.
What's nice is that each of the regions has their own mini kind of arena mats, and they all have special rules around them. So one, you could be shackled up with one of your units, and another one has a chariot racing around, and it's really cool to kind of fight on those. But it's just bloody good fun.
So it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What's the upkeep like? Like, how much bookkeeping do you have to do? Because it sounds like a lot of bookkeeping.
No, it's limited.
Is it?
You get a little tracker sheet.
Done well, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Because that can be a very real, like, kind
turn
of...
off, right?
Yeah, turn off to solos is how much, like, upkeep you sometimes have to do when you set up. You've got to remember where you are and...
Yeah, it's dead easy, to be fair. You kind of... you can store it away and save the kind of position of, what units are in the bag, what units are in your camp, what prowess cards you've unlocked, where your stats are, and you've got a tracking sheet. Just take a photo of it, done. Cool. And then you can pack it away. It's the setup's not too bad.
Yeah.
The only thing that the downside to it for me personally is the fact that it's a 4-act campaign that can take 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it's trying to get that to the table in between other gaming events and nights, and it's just thinking, right, tonight I'm going to sit down and play Act 2. Life just getting in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
But I suppose to counteract that, because it's solo, you can
squeeze it
kind
in.
of just do it. But
yeah.
So yeah, I kind of played it this week because the new Game Found campaign's got launched for some of the expansion content, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to bloody play that again, and I absolutely just had a blast with it.
Good.
And just keeps telling me, just keep playing it, mate. It's good fun. But I just love, as I said, the production's great. You get this thing called stadium seating, right? And it's this hydro-dipped plastic tray, looks like marble, and all the chips sit in there, and it's basically like you're sitting in an arena.
Sounds so over-engineered.
It really does.
Yeah.
So amazing. When you just feel like everything's there.
Do you start playing crowd noises and some
Absolutely,
speakers
yeah.
as well?
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
whoa, and your Caesars in your seat. Yeah.
It's cool.
Good. Sounds
Yeah,
like you're
nice.
loving it, mate.
Yeah.
Excitement comes across.
Yeah.
Good.
Bring it on.
Right, Davey, what have you been up to then, mate?
So I think I mentioned quite a while ago that I was going to play Age of Innovation with Marcus.
You did.
So we got it to the table,
Yeah.
and I've just got to say, so I've actually played it twice now with him. The first time I was torn as to whether it would knock Gaia from its place for me, because Gaia Project. So if you don't know what Age of Innovation is, it's pretty much Terra Mystica 2.0. It's got all of the features you want from Terra Mystica, but it's taken away the. So the biggest problem with Terra Mystica was people have played it loads. There's not much variability. You're pretty much set. A lot of people know the best combinations. They know what to do. This has added so much variability that it's pretty much taken that off the table. But it's kept the type map, which is actually really nice. So whereas before you had a set faction and terrain type, now you can have certain factions joined together. So whereas before it was always swamp, and I can't actually remember, I only played Terra Mystica a couple of times, swamp, I don't know, witches. Now you can be swamp philosophers, say. Okay. And you can have these combinations together. But it doesn't end there. You've also got innovations, which are these little slots to your right of your board, and there's a new resource which are books. You collect those over the game, and they're going to be extra powers or scoring that you can get and slot into your board, which are other objectives to work towards. And what's really interesting is Marcus had a game where he didn't build any. I had a game where I built 3, and we were I was 2 points behind him.
Right.
So you don't have to do it, but it's like another way of building a strategy and going from there. Certain factions are better at it depending on what combination you get, because obviously what faction you are all have different boards. So whereas before to terraform it costs 1 spade, and that could be 3 tools, and as you go up the rank it costs 4 money and a man, and the tool. Whereas now some boards it only costs you 1 money and a man, or 1 money, a man and a tool. So it's a lot cheaper to get out that board. So you will have really different strategies going forward. The map's still the same, which I actually quite like the Terra Mystica map. The only downside I found to Terra Mystica was the tech tree and everything else wasn't as interesting. Whereas now they've
just a track, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas now they've still got that track, but now you've got the board pieces with the tech tiles, like with Gaia Project. Also, what's interesting is your palace. Your palace isn't a set power anymore.
Okay.
You've got 6 powers out to the side of the board.
Yeah.
When you build your palace, if you're the first one to build it, you get a choice out of that 6.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Nice.
So
it's
your
more
power
of a
can-
shared kind of
So
thing.
your
tailor the
power
crap
can
out.
change, yeah,
Yeah.
depending on every game. So the variability, you do a draft at the start. The last player gets to pick first, which adds a nice bonus for the last player, balances it out. And you pick a combination. And also they've got the starting tiles on them as well. The ones that you pick, they give you a little bonus. Those are within the actual pile of goodies that you pick from that faction. So that might also change how you want to start. You're thinking, oh, that starting tile is actually really good for this combination here. I'm going to pick this one here, and then off you go. And the more I've played it, the more I've enjoyed it. I know it's only 2 plays so far, but it's definitely a game I think I'm going to go back to a lot. And it's got me thinking, oh, do I just replace Gaia with it? Do I just get rid of Gaia Project and get Age of Innovation?
Calm it down.
I know, it's really good. It is really good, and I'm really... Because I do like Gaia Project, and I do like the map, but also the map can have issues where sometimes you just don't interact with each other all game. Because your planets have ended up very nicely, and you can just go down here and be like, catch you guys later, I'm not going to interact with you all game, I don't need to. Which obviously there's downsides and there's benefits because you're not getting as much power, but you could have a faction that just doesn't need to. And therefore, you're kind of playing the solo game. Whereas Terra Mystica's got that tight board, and you have to be a little bit more tactical about where you're going and who. If you're going near someone for the power, but they're a faction that can easily take the tiles next to you, you're going to get swamped.
Yeah.
But then there's also there might be an innovation out where you only need 2 buildings to make a city, and you're like, oh well, I can do these 2 buildings, build another tech that gives that extra power because you've got annexes now as well and neutral buildings, which are really cool. And I'm just going to make a 2 building city.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, and do the whole tall rather than wide route.
Yeah.
So
Are you going to buy it? Have you got it?
I haven't got it, but I am torn. But Marcus has got it, and I'm playing it Friday as well. So I'm playing it again.
I mean, to be fair, like there's high praise coming from you because I know how much you love Gaia Project.
yeah,
And
That's one of
I
my top
think
games.
because it's so similar to obviously Terra Mystica because it's an evolution of it. Even 2 games of it, you'll know.
yeah.
You'll know that
and that's
because
it.
the system's pretty much the same
Yeah.
underneath, right?
Yeah,
what it's
yeah.
trying to do. It's
Yeah,
just
as soon as we started going, I was like, right, I'm doing this, and just fly away with it.
And the
'Cause
artwork is so much better.
Yes, and the buildings, all little buildings with like actual wooden pieces, which are
nice.
buildings and stuff. So when you
Yeah.
build out the board, it all looks really nice.
Yeah.
And it's strange because I love Gaia Project, I like Terra Mystica, but I always preferred Gaia Project.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And Marcus he prefers Terra Mystica, doesn't like Gaia Project. Whereas Age of Innovation is obviously amalgamation of the 2.
Yeah.
So, but it's still different enough so that you could have both games. But I don't think I could justify it.
Yeah.
We'll
Maybe
see
that
what
might be
happens.
one. Maybe that might be one that I could look at because I had Terra Mystica and then I fell in love with Gaia Project.
Yeah.
I thought, what's the point of me having that?
Yeah.
So and then
I think you would like Age of
that
Innovation.
might be something that I could look
You
into
like the
because
fantasy.
it'd be nice to have that in the group. I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, definitely. I think you'll really like
Go on
it.
then, mate. You take the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they keep spending my money, you know.
It's not too bad as well. I think it's about £60-something, which but with the amount you get with it,
That's not bad.
it's not bad.
Terra Mystica type games have always been that sort of price.
Yeah.
I think I paid 55 for Terra Mystica, which
Yeah.
is quite an old game, really.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of bits though to that, isn't there? There's a lot,
Yeah.
you get a lot for your
Yeah,
money. You get a
wooden
lot of
bits.
wood for your
Yeah,
money.
and this one you get a load of. Also, it's got inset boards.
Whey!
Oh, thank God.
Power doesn't slide everywhere when you knock the
Whey!
sheet. Like stuff slots in nicely.
Your buildings
it's
don't
so
fall
good.
over.
Yes, and
Yeah.
also one of the best bits is it says on your terrain board, you put that down. It says swamp. You slot your player in, and then it says swamp philosophers or
Yeah,
mountain
that's cool.
lizards. So it's got it written above there
Oh,
as well.
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like
it is
that.
cool.
Customizability.
Yeah.
I'm going to be greedy and talk about my game next. So, on that note, with you and Marcus, I went to Marcus's house the other day and we played Netrunner for the first time
Why is
in
Marcus
ages.
stealing everyone from the group?
He's trying to take over, I reckon.
He is.
Stealing everyone's
Yeah.
thunder, isn't
Marcus,
it?
if you're listening, mate, just we've got our eyes on you, pal.
We love you, Marcus.
Yeah, we love you, really, mate. We love you.
He's great.
So yeah, and it just reignited my love of the game. Really, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. We've talked about it previously on the pod, but it's just made a new deck, messed around with the one I had, watching Marcus building his own kind of decks from the original, Nisei starter packs and what's it called?
System update.
System update. Thank you, JP. Oh, Gateway.
Oh, System Gateway. Is the starter pack.
Yeah. And just watching him make his deck was just really interesting, and sort of we were discussing like how many heists do you put in your deck, and all this kind of stuff, strategies, and just I was like, this is amazing. So for about 4 hours we just sat there and bashed out a few games. It's just really, really good fun.
Just good, isn't it?
And we're gonna do it again. So I think JP, you want to play
I
as
wanna
well.
play.
We need to get one more person.
Yeah,
I think we'll get me, you, Marcus.
I'd like to play. I need to play it more, and I don't, and I love it. I'm shit at it, but I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Not going to go into any great detail because...
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Who did you play?
So, I played as Hasbiroid as
Corp.
Corp.
Yeah.
And I did 2 games of that, and I won one, lost one.
You like HB, though.
Although, I was really flippant. I do like HB, I have to say. I was really gutted because I was on for a 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed one more turn to win. Definitely, 100% win. Alright, just needed to score out. 100% win. He had the last gambit run on R&D. He was accessing 2 cards, and the only way he could win is both of them to be agendas or to get my 1/5/3 agenda. And he got my 1/5/3 agenda. Out of 20 cards left, he got my 1/5/3 agenda in there, and I was absolutely like, well done. I wasn't salty. I was like, that was lucky, wasn't it?
That's pleased with me, no end.
Yeah.
Well done, Mark.
It was very upsetting.
You can take him anytime.
Yeah. Then I played as runner. I played as Crim. I always used to play Shapers, but for this time I don't know why. I just made a Crim deck.
Nice.
And it was really good fun. So some of their resource cards and getting their money is always a little bit better than most other factions.
Yeah.
And
all that economy, aren't they?
yeah, and the character was really good. And I forget what the resource is, or not the resource exactly, but what allows you to bring in stuff from other factions as well. Influence, thank you. Because that was quite high with that character, and it managed to get in everything I wanted into the deck, so I was able to take 2 types of foreign icebreakers, which is always really good, because the one thing that the Crim struggle for is decent icebreakers. So I was able to get in one from Shapers and the other one from the Anarchs. So that really improved the deck. Really, really happy with it, and I won that one as well, which was really nice.
Nice.
But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, and we're going to do another one soon, hopefully. We're also looking at doing, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Jinteki, not only is it a faction of Corp, it's also a website you can go to.
Yeah, you play online.
Yeah,
it's been around for
because
ages.
Marcus lives quite a few miles away in Honiton, which is about 40 minutes drive, something like that. If we really get into it, we can just plug our decks into Jinteki, and from my previous uses of it, it plays really well. So might be looking at doing that over Discord or something soon.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Good for that.
Yeah. How about you, young Dan?
Other than ploughing lots of hours into Starfield.
How many?
I'm glad you said Starfield.
30 so far.
30 so far?
Yeah, and I feel like I've barely scraped the surface of that.
Have you not been doing testing the physics engines? Because that's all the videos I see.
Oh yeah, I've seen let's put a bunch of potatoes into a cockpit, and watching them all fall out, but fall out perfectly.
Have you seen the guy do the stealth run?
No.
It looks like he's playing Metal Gear Solid or something.
Really?
Well, he just kind of runs through it and goes invisible and starts stealthing everyone, and he's got this little silent pistol.
I've not seen that. I've seen the guy.
I was like, what Starfield game is this guy playing?
But that's what's good about it, right?
Yeah.
You can pretty much do anything you want. I started playing it, but I haven't actually properly.
You need to get sunk into it before it gets good.
It takes a few hours, but once you get there, it's well worth it.
Well, it's quite nice because I got it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
PC.
that's
the
why
same,
I
but
have as well.
Can't be bothered.
No, fair enough, mate. It's
It's the way I am with video games.
Yeah,
I go for short indie, 10 hours max games because otherwise I lose interest.
My taste in video games has changed so much over the years, but
massively.
also as board gaming becomes more kind of stronger for me when it comes to the hobbies I have, and it just kind of took over.
Yeah.
Have I got time for video games? Not really. Should I play a board game? Yeah, let's do that because it's more fun and it's more social, and then it's just which is more fun. But
more interaction on the table, isn't there?
absolutely,
Rather than
it's much more fun to do. And me and my wife, Vicky, we played a few games of Tapestry of late, which is great fun. She beat me last night. She hasn't beat me for like months.
But how did she get on?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Welcome to the podcast, Dan.
If you're listening, Vicky, love you. The safe word is Oklahoma. No, it was great. And she the thing is with Tapestry, and I'm not going to go into it too much now, but with Tapestry, you've got to have a decent set of cards and Civ to go with each other.
Yeah.
And if you have got one, then chances are you're going to end up in for a good run. But if that doesn't really kind of like synergize together, then your game will tank.
Yeah.
And that's my excuse.
Yeah, well, I do think there needs to be like a mulligan or something where you can be like, right, I'm taking my veto. I'm gonna ditch this and relegate.
I don't know,
some of them are so bad together. Then
I know what you're saying, but I kind of quite like the challenge of going through the ones that are a little bit more difficult. And I think that's where what I find
it's those cards that you get where it goes, if this condition is met, get this amazing thing, or gain a resource.
Or get a mushroom.
Yeah, and then there's so many cards that are in there that are like that, and if you get a hand of those Tapestry cards, you've had it. Because nothing, if nothing, collates together with your Civ or with your strategy that you're trying to do, then you're going to go in for a bad run.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I've played a lot of Tapestry, but probably in every 5 games, one goes like that. But the rest of them are pretty good, and that's praise to the game then, really, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of options to choose from, and if it's only 1 out of 5 that tanks that way, then that's pretty good going. I think they've stopped making stuff for Tapestry now, which is disappointing. I would have loved if they'd gone down a kind of like a spiritual kind of road. And they add like a spiritual track. Obviously, adding a religion track probably would have been a bit too risky for them.
Could have made it a bridge over the board, couldn't you? That you slowly went across.
You could, that'd be great. But he probably wouldn't have, the same, kind of production as like chip theory games.
No,
it'd be made out of marble.
Yeah. The crowd roaring in the background.
Faux marble.
I'm actually surprised Chip Theory didn't actually create a fully marbleized stadium seating for Hoplo, and it is plastic with high.
I want to see this. I've not seen it.
I'll show you afterwards.
I want to see it. Yeah. And the stadium seats.
We'll put a photo of it in the socials as well, so everyone can marvel at JP's stadium.
Yeah, when they're playing next, I'll just take a photo of myself going, "It's amazing." Carry on, Dan.
That's it. Tapestry. Quite a few games of Tapestry and Starfield.
Yeah. Have you played with Tapestry? Have you played the latest expansion?
Yes. Yeah, I played that a few times now. Do you know what? It doesn't make much of a difference if you're mixing absolutely everything together. If you're putting in all the Tapestry cards from because I've got everything. So if you're adding it all together, then you don't, because they've added charms now onto the cards where they're on the left-hand side of the cards, and if you play them against other Tapestries, then you get more bonuses. But there's so few of those cards that are now in a massive chonky deck that it's not often that you get to see them, which is a real shame. Also, you've also got that other card that kind of fits on at the end of income step 5, where you can add other resources to that card. But again, unfortunately, it doesn't come out as often as you'd like to. So it's there, but the game doesn't really utilise it if you're mixing everything in together. The last game I played with the genies as the Civ. And it played very differently, where your opponents, you had to randomly select an opponent, and they would then choose one reward from your Civ mat, and then you would get that reward, and then another one to the left or to the right of it. Now, that's all very good if you're playing a game of 3, 4, 5 players. But if you're playing 2, which me and the wife did, then you're always going to get the same person, and chances are they're always going to pick the same reward because it's the one they're going for. And then that kind of locks you in then to the 2 resources to the left or to the right of it. So you're kind of getting the same thing. So trying to build up kind of an engine or adapt your play based on that, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
But still, it is still very good.
Yeah, still good fun.
Leads us on nicely into the main section of the game, so... Right, so on to the main section of the pod, which is going to be titled Civilizations Beyond the Sword. All right. So really, what we're talking about is civilization games. Now, I don't mean the computer games, although we'll probably reference them at some point.
Gonna
We're
happen.
talking about games that have a civilization theme. Now, the first thing I want to do, and I do this with almost all of the ones that I've first played so far, is kind of define it. So what do we mean by civilization game? Because I had to think about it. In this one, out of all of the 3 pods I've been first player on, I struggled with the most. But I've come to some conclusions, and I want to discuss that a little bit. So, I feel like the feeling of progressing is an important part of it. The feeling of almost going through time, which I've never really thought about before, but there are a few games that hit all the other bars that I don't think are Civ games that, yeah, there we go.
It feels like a quintessential piece, actually, the time progression.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't have to have this, but this was an interesting part. There are a lot of civilization games that are almost 4X games. And there's a lot of 4X games that a lot of people would say are civilization games. But for me, there's the focus on the text and all that kind of stuff and everything else that's an important part of it. But for me, it's expand, exploit, explore, but with a much less emphasis on the exterminate. That for me is a Civ game. So you can still do it, but that exterminate part of the 4X is not as prevalent or as
And
major.
it needs to be there.
It does. It depends what one it is. If it's a 4X, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be a 3X, isn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly. But
Yeah.
as an example, for those of you, I'm guessing you have some interest in the subject if you're listening to this pod.
If
But-
you don't, sorry. 'cause
Yeah, this might not be for you, this one.
Yeah.
But we've got, for example, and we'll go through it in a minute, we've got obviously the standard what's your favourite ones, but Civilization, the 2 that I know of, and I know there's a few, but Civilization, New Dawn with Terra Incognita, and the more original Sid Meier's Civilization from 2010, those are both, you know, like I say, expand, exploit, but with a really, you never really eliminate anyone. If you do eliminate people, then actually the game's over and you win. Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
So
a win condition.
Exactly, it's a win condition. So it's really not
Sometimes.
focused on that type, you know.
Yeah.
So that for me is kind of what a definition of a civilization game is, and I'm going to go a little bit further with that in a minute as to why I think, for example, TI4, Twilight Imperium 4, is not a civilization game.
Yeah.
Same with Eclipse, although you know.
So
Having that identity as well is a big one for me. Like, for example, the Roman Empire, the Mayan Empire, you know, and the different types and even fantasy type ones as well is an important part. Go on, Davey.
I agree on a lot of those aspects, but I think the biggest one is the through time, because through the ages I would actually class as a civilization game, but it has no board. It has no board that you sit and take pieces. You don't have like an area control, but you go through these ages, you progress, and while you're progressing, technology progresses with you. You are a civilization, you know, advancing through different eras, and I think that is
It's
for
a Civ
me
game
a
without
Civ
4X,
game.
isn't it?
Yeah,
But that's the point. I wasn't saying that because I totally agree. By the way, that is 100%. If it's a 4X game, then it has
can
to
also be.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a 4X
No.
game to qualify as a Civ. But
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
is a 4X game that you might qualify as a Civ, it would have to be on the exterminate on the lower end of it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
So for an example with that one, and Dan, that might be a good one to chat with you about. Tapestry.
Yeah.
For me, it's a civilization game.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
100%.
have dudes on a map. It
No.
doesn't have that side of it. So
It's a
do you
tapestry.
think?
Yeah, it's a tapestry. Tapestry is a civilization game, but it's the most uncivilization game out there.
Yeah.
So you know the theme is there. It's
And you go through the ages,
you go
don't
through
you?
the ages, but it's an odd one because some people might come across Tapestry and go, "This theme feels pasted on,"
Yeah.
but it's not because of the way that you're building a tapestry in front of you by
Yeah.
going through, as you say, going through the ages. You start with Maker of Fire, and the tapestry cards that you're laying down is laying down the foundations of a civilization going through the ages. It kind of reminds me of, and you say we were going to mention it, Civ 6, when you do, I can't never remember what it is that you do, but when you do like a defining moment. When you're playing single player,
Eureka moment.
a eureka moment, or something like that, where it comes up with that big like scroll, and it shows you what your civilization has done, and that reminds me of Tapestry, and how you're laying down your cards, and you're kind of like you're laying down history,
Yeah.
with your civilization. But the way that the game works mechanically doesn't play like
No.
does not
No.
play like a Civilization
100%.
game at all. And you touched on about TI4, about saying that TI4 is not a Civilization game. It is not a Civilization game. And that for me, in my opinion, what makes it not a Civilization game is because you've gone through the ages.
You're there.
You're now in an era of time at which humanity does not know.
But not millennia.
No, so you're taking away the civilization aspect, and all you're hitting it with is sci-fi.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what was interesting is that when I really thought about it on a quite shallow level, what is a Civilization game? It ticked all the boxes. Because it had the 4X element, which I thought was at least part of some of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it had that part of it. It had the individual civilizations, if you want to say, you know, they all unique and all that kind of stuff. It's got a tech tree, which for me is one of the defining points of it. In a way, of course, you know, you go up through that, you know, getting all the different techs. But it wasn't, and I was trying to look into, well, why don't I feel that way?
Is it more theme? Theme over mechanics?
I think the question is then, can you have a Civilization sci-fi game then?
I think you
'Cause
could,
for me,
but you
I
need
would
to
have
start
write
from
it
the
off.
start. You have to. The civilization is watching them your civ progress through time. It's you're basically starting with nothing. You're starting at the very core,
Make or fire.
and then you're watching that. Yeah, there you go, make or fire, and you're watching that progress. And for me, that's the civilization game. You are watching yourself expand and progress as a civilization, rather than you start off and you have everything and off you go.
But there is an element to that, because you're saying that you have everything, but in TI4, you don't. All you do is you are an
you still have spaceships.
You still have true. You have a little bit, but not a lot.
No,
and it's trying, and then you're growing like a Civ. It's a good argument. Is you're growing like a Civ would, but you do.
I think you've already got to that point where you're then thinking about expansion rather than actually kind of growing as a civilization.
They're more mechanics, aren't they? So 4X mechanics, as you said, they can be applied to a variety of themes. TI, I agree with you, Davey. It's that you've reached a point in time where, you know, this sector of space is up for grabs and someone needs to rule the universe, right? And okay, that game might thematically take place over 50 years, but it's just 50 years. Like Civ games take over, you know,
a whole generations.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
I think thinking about it, it's like the big thing for me is you don't really develop in TI4, do you?
No.
Like, for example, in Civilization, when we're playing the 2010 version, you have a city, you build more cities with settlers, and you're building on those cities. So you're building mines, you're building, you know, courthouses, you're building all these different buildings for your city to be able to do more things.
And the tech trees
There's
developing.
no real engine building. It feels
it.
engine building in a way.
Yeah.
But you don't really get that. So development is far more of a key part of it than...
I think so. Because even with the computer game, with Civilization, when you think about the war side of it, you probably don't do it that often. But you don't do... A big part of when you're playing these original Civilization games is the development side of it. You're building up, you're getting better tech, you're then expanding your politics, you're then...
That's the fun bit.
That is the fun bit. That's the engine bit, and that's the just one more turn. Let's just do that. Let's just do that there. Then 2 days have gone by. I'm still playing Civ.
If I do this,
That's the PC game. Not the
if I do this option, what other options does it give me and grant me going forward?
Yeah.
And that is the fun bit. It's like, well, if I work towards that, then it's going to give me a whole plethora of different
And
options.
that kind of works with the whole expansion of a civilization within technology, and the fact that, this new thing's been invented, say GPS, that thing's been invented. Look at how this now expands into every bit of our culture, into our world, and then it kind of grows as a tree. So it's, I think that is the core part of a civilization game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, completely agree with all that. I just thought it was an interesting point.
It is.
It's not
It
as
is.
easily definable.
No, when you sit and think about it, like as you was explaining at the beginning, I was thinking, oh, shit, what is a civilization? Because I've not really thought about it. It's the feeling I get.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not a thing I can easily
I
describe.
can play a game where I'm
feeling.
playing cards, and suddenly it's like, it's like a Civ game.
Yeah.
I think
Tableau builder.
I did look on BGG as to what their definition of civilization game was, and interesting, there was some good blurb in there, and most of it was progression through time and all that kind of stuff. Some really good little tidbits, but actually, the games they listed on the civilization were quite surprising. So, for example, TI4 was there, and Eclipse was there, and an interesting one. And I don't know if I disagree with it necessarily, but Seven Wonders was on there. as one.
Seven
It's a
Wonders, I
weird-
would probably
over theme
would.
over anything else.
You get a progression through time in that. It's one of those.
I suppose you
wasn't
don't really, do you?
Not really. No.
No.
What's the difference between like the age 3 cards and age 1 thematically? I'm trying to like even now having played Seven Wonders so many times.
Yeah, I suppose
Is
you
it-
do. In fact, you do.
you
but
get
it's,
more
it's a
stuff.
very more condensed kind of era, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like
It
over this
doesn't-
one timeline, and because it slowly gets a little bit more advanced. Oh, you've built papaya.
It
now
feels
we're
like the
building
ages
a-
are like 20 years
But
apart.
then,
Yeah.
but then why does that make
yeah.
it a civilization game? Because a lot of board games will end up doing that anyway. It's like, well, I start off and all the things I have are very basic, and then I get more improved or better things going on later
Yeah,
on. So
yeah.
does that make it a civ game?
Interesting.
Not sure if it does, unless you convey the theme. Then with the theme, it might.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So on a similar note, and this might not add very much to what we've already discussed, so it might be a really quick one, but what is it you like most about Civilization games? Why are you here basically doing a Civilization game episode? What was it about them that makes you like them?
I think for me, what we've talked about, it is that progression. It's the starting with absolutely nothing and then going, right, look at all the avenues I can go down.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I was going to say for the last bit, is actually the multiple ways to victory of you don't even have to be military at all.
No.
Tech,
Economic.
politics, economic.
I've played this
religion
game 3
warfare as
times
well.
already. Which way am I going to go this time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about the board game experience, is it's the same thing. It's like I love games that basically there's your start line, off you go, and it's okay.
do what you
Right,
want.
I'm going to pull this lever. I'm going to push that button. I'm going to go down that path and do that. And you know me, I don't really strategize that long, far ahead. So I kind of like just weave my own path. But I find that bit fun. So going back to Civ 2010, the board game. Every game of that has always felt different, obviously with the civs that you pick from the start with your ability, but just that tech tree.
The tech tree is beautiful.
I'm going down this
That's what I
road and
miss
then
with the
building
new
that
one.
round, and then do that, and then I'm going to do this, and actually, oh shit, I've got tanks. Brilliant.
Yeah, I
I
love that tech tree.
I've not played it in so long, and it is. I got rid of my copy years back, and I wish I didn't, because it's
Yeah,
a really
it's
good game.
Good, he's
a
got
really
it, you're
good game.
fine.
I know, yeah, we need to play again,
We
because I really
I
like
love
to.
it.
It's
That
great.
game
love
is
it.
one of them that you need the expansions for,
Yes.
and they're very
Very-
expensive
yeah,
and
yeah,
relative.
yeah.
So I
And-
invested in it, but it wasn't a kind of.
Do you have both?
I have, yeah.
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 I get that feeling in Tapestry, like when I start Tapestry, and you're that maker of fire, and it's you've got your tracks. It's the same principles. Like I'm going to go on exploration. I'm going to do military. I'm going to do science. I'm going to do technology, and it's just.
I like it when there's not one win condition as well with a lot of Civ games, where they do have a lot of different win conditions with trade, as you said, economic or research or militaristic. I've always liked, when I play the computer games, I've always liked going down Persia. This is with 5 with Persia, and then doing like all the trade and winning via economic. It's always fun winning that way.
And by the way, for those of you who know, it's a little bit of an Easter egg. The name of the pod episode, Civilizations Beyond the Sword, is a nod to the expansion I used to play on Civilization 4, my favourite civilization. So it's
we
Civilization
knew that.
4 Beyond the Sword.
Yeah,
And it is.
Civ 4 was the first one I played.
Well, there you go.
It got me.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
5.
4.
Oh, 4. Yeah,
four.
I played
The
the
square
first one I
grid
played.
one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the last
Yeah.
square grid one. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that was my nod to it because, I love that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, excellent. So for me, it's that feeling of progression, same as you, JP. But also, and this is going to be a little bit Marmite for some people, is the asymmetry. I know you guys mentioned the kind of doing what you want, but also the fact that the civilizations are slightly different.
Yeah.
Just pushes you in a slightly different direction every time, and yeah, I really like that side of it, but not everyone would, because asymmetry games are kind of one of them that's a little bit Marmite.
It gives replayability, if anything, though, a lot of the time I find, because you can have the exact same strategy, but it wouldn't work with one civ, but it'll work with another. And that means you have to devise a new plan. You can't just do the same thing every time. And for me, that's interesting. Some people don't like that side of things, and they prefer to have a set. This is how I need to play
'Cause it's
this is
fair,
the goal.
right?
Yeah. But having challenges thrown at you, then having to pivot and then change, on a tuppence. I don't know why I'm using tuppence. Well, this is it, isn't
Because
it?
you're 70 years old.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
Tuppence Anthony.
Normally, tuppence just means something else these days.
No,
Something rude, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I have no idea.
No, I don't. I'm not down with the goods.
But I do also agree about the tech trees as well. Absolutely love them. And I would say tech tree. When I say tech trees, I don't always mean that there's a tech card, go through that. Because the Civilization 2010 version does a great method of doing that with a pyramid. And it really does feel like
Simple
a tech
and
tree.
effective.
But also the Civilization New Dawn does a weird kind of card upgrade mechanic. So it's not always the same, but I really enjoy both different types really. So yeah, technology is one of them. It's nice to, go through and root through your cards.
Better shit, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. It's just quite satisfying to then go, use this more powerful version to, beat up Davey or, whatever the case may be.
beat up Davey.
We'll beat up Davey, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably should beat up Davey. Yeah.
He likes these games.
Saying that,
apparently.
last time you played 2010, I think you nuked him.
Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
I still think I did alright, didn't I? After the nuke.
Yeah, the nuke is not a write-off. It
No.
just destroyed one of your 3 cities.
Yeah.
So it was
Built
still
another
it was pretty
city
good,
somewhere. I think it was alright. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's actually not too bad.
Just shrugged it off.
I don't really care how damaging it
It is
was.
but a flesh wound.
I don't care how damaging it was. It was just fun to
Fun
nuke
to do,
Davey.
yeah.
I can't be honest.
You always get the nuke.
Well, apart from that one time where I did get the nuke and then you nicked it off me, right? I was absolutely gutted.
Your plutonium.
Never mind.
I do love that game.
I want to play it again. It's been so long.
it's such a good game.
Anytime, mate. Anytime you like.
Yes, please.
So, on again a very similar note, so we won't spend much time. I'm just going to go around the room. What's your favourite one? So, Dan, start us off. What's your favourite Civ game, mate?
It's probably a toss-up between 3. I
Okay.
mean, Tapestry I love, but it lets itself down where it can feel a little pasted on because you go up a track and go, oh, I've now learned warfare, or I've now built this building, but I don't feel like I've armed to the teeth. It feels a little bit like that, but it is still fantastic, and I like to play it. And it's not a Civ game that takes 6 to 8 hours.
No.
Which is great. And I love that about the games. You can play it in a couple of hours and it's done. Fantastic. But I also love. I haven't played it a while because it is a mammoth, and that's Mega Civilization, which was made by 999 Games. It came out a few years ago, and it came out in a massive wooden chest. The reason why it comes in a massive wooden chest is because the Mega Civilization, which was based on the original, not Avalon Hill, maybe it was Avalon Hill who made the original.
It was,
who made the original Civilization, but it's on a much grander scale.
Yeah.
So it can play between 5 and 18 players. And the board can take up.
Amazing.
It's massive. The board is absolutely massive.
Just get those little unit pushers and just push stuff around.
It's almost like
you can all stand around it, just pushing your units around.
Yeah, it's almost like War Machine, but not in a circle board. It's more of a longer board, and
The world on it.
Yeah,
literally.
pretty much. But I played it with 17 players.
Wowzers.
And I had to grab me PA from the garage, because I'm a singer, so I brought all my music gear so that people could hear me across the other side of the room. And to try and manage 17 people, you need to prepare yourself. This takes months of preparation to get this nailed. But we did it, and we had fun. But the game is actually really, really simple. It's you having a couple of units, and if you have a couple of units in one territory, at the end of the round they double, so they become 4, and then you can then spread further. But then as soon as you cohabit with somebody else but have more units than your opponent, and you're over the population limit, then a war will start, and then it's very similar to Voidfall with the deterministic style of it's one and one and that kind of thing, and it's done. But also you have calamity cards and resources. But with the resources, there's like 24 resources or more, and you're there. But there's a phase where all 18 players, if you're playing with the full player count, are trading resources with
running
each
around
other.
the table going,
Yeah,
give me this.
Yeah, so you're going around the whole table and say, right, do you want this? I want this. But also you're trading calamities. So you went, I've got 3 papaya and 1 sugar. Oh, great, great. What have you got? Well, I've got this. And you swap it, and then they've just given you a calamity, and they've lied to you. And it's like, brilliant, thanks, mate.
Here's the plague of locusts.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I have the plague, and then it hinders you for the next turn. turn. But you also have technologies as well, and you have is it called the AST, which is a succession table, where you're all going up based on points. The game is nuts. It's massive. It's made by a guy called Flo de Haan, who made the original Mega Civ, and then they split the game into two, with called Eastern Empires and Western Empires.
I saw this. Yes.
Yeah, so that went on Kickstarter. So you can get it now. You can get Eastern and Western Empires, but you can't get Mega Civ anymore.
No.
I think it's massively out of print. It's been out for a while. But if you've got the stomach for a 15-hour game,
It's a weekend game.
yeah, then go for it. But it's a tall ask.
Yeah.
But it is very, very
I'd be
good.
down for it, but
I
getting
would be
into the
down
table
for
would be a nightmare.
Nightmare. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd never buy that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
What about you
it's
then,
a nightmare.
Davey? What's your favourite, mate?
I think I'm going to be a cop-out. I've been thinking about this hard. I think it is just 2010. Just that tech tree just gets me every time. I love
It is
that
a
tech tree.
sexual tech tree.
But it is a game. We've tried to play it in an evening, and it's probably an afternoon game.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. It's
We've
not
tried
the
it
fact
4
that
times.
you can't
Yeah, I
do
know,
it,
yeah.
but it's definitely not a school night game. I would say.
No,
You're
Friday
looking-
night was fine, but the
5
time we
hours,
tried to do like a
obviously.
Wednesday night, we were like, I think we've just got to end this now. This is just going to end. No one's winning anytime soon. But yeah.
The win condition is staying awake.
Yeah.
We're all over
So-
30 and have commitments.
Yeah, pretty much. Whereas, I think, and that's the only problem with it, is it has to be an afternoon.
So thanks for that, Davey. JP, what's yours, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of love for Civ 2010, but I think the length of it is not a downside because it's supposed to be a lengthy game, and
But it does exclude it
yeah,
from play.
I have to be also really kind of asked to play it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I have to be in the mood to go, right, I'm in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
So for me, I quite like Civ New Dawn with the expansion because it's a lighter implementation. It plays nothing like it, and it feels absolutely kind of different, but still has the Civ themes.
Yeah.
And obviously it did the card power action row mechanic before Ark Nova did it. Even though Ark
Beat
Nova
me to
gets
it. Ark Nova.
yeah, Ark Nova gets the credit, I think, for a lot of it, but Civ New Dawn did it first.
Yeah.
And I think you said it earlier with the tech tree, upgrading those cards and just making yourself better and better and better. I've always enjoyed Civ New Dawn.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
Didn't
Plays in
scratch
2
the same itch
hours.
for me.
No, it doesn't
No.
for me. There's just something missing from it.
Yeah, it
I
feels
want, what I want is a better tech tree that goes along with the cards that you put down. If that tech tree was better, I'd be all in.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yes. But the tech tree's always like, I've upgraded this. And,
Yeah.
It's not as good as 2010's
alright.
tech tree, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Yeah,
But
I think I need a good solid tech tree.
yeah, I just think just because you can play it, you get 2 hours and you're like, right, cool, I've progressed, I've got nothing, and now we're there, and we've expanded, and we've done all those things.
I'm
which
with
is
you
good.
on this one.
I think it would hit the table more, and I haven't had a bad game of it yet.
No.
It's been good.
I love Civilization New Dawn. I would say I agree with Davey, not quite for the same reasons, but I think the cards are the right choice. I don't want a tech tree. I don't need a tech tree, is a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
But I would say the upgrades of the cards need to be more significant.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can feel like, well, I could upgrade that one from level 1 to level 3, and actually it's basically the same. You know, it doesn't really benefit
The
me.
expansion ones
So-
like that, the one where you expand, it's like, oh yeah, you can expand and it's just like a couple extra spaces, or you
Yeah.
get an extra token down.
Yeah.
And you think if your Civ doesn't really work with that, you're like, well, it doesn't really do much
Some
for
of
me.
them are really impactful, but some of them really aren't. you
Yeah.
know? So that's one thing I would probably say needs a little bit of a look at. But the actual way the game works, like JP was saying, is my favourite. It's quick. The expanding cultural influence is great, and the way the districts kind of interact and give you loads more. That was a Terra Incognita edition. Just makes it really
do like the district
interesting.
side of it.
I wouldn't
And-
play it without that expansion.
No, I
honest.
wouldn't either. But yeah, so the way that the game comes together it probably is my favourite. But I'm gonna add in a little bit just to keep it different. I would probably go with you, JP, on this one.
Yeah.
But just make it a bit different. Honourable mention to Mosaic, which I appreciate is a little bit.
Little bit what?
A little bit Marmite for people because you weren't a big fan, JP.
I didn't dislike it. I just thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get the wow factor from
Yeah.
when I played. I was like, it's all right.
So for me, it really scratches the biggest itch when it comes to engine building. That's what I loved about it. It really felt like an engine builder rather than a... Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. Is it a Civ game? I would say it is a Civ game, but it's more of an engine buildy type game for me.
Yeah, it's kind of got the Tableau side of things where you kind of build this engine out through the cards, and it does have this a Civ feel to it, definitely. I'd say it is.
Yeah, the technology's progressed through ages, do they?
Yeah.
Better and better as the game goes on. So
and it's got some interesting things, like it's taken like the modern tag system from different games, and I really enjoyed it. Totally different type of Civ game, but I really enjoyed it. But again,
I think I need to play it again, because the scoring was a bit different because it was in between ages, and that kind of threw us off a little, like threw me off a little, I should say. And like we understood it was coming, but I just didn't understand how it worked. And then it was like, oh, actually, those bits are really powerful. And when you play a game, as long as you remember that, it'll be like, oh, okay, I know what I'm building here.
I can't tell you why I didn't love it.
Yeah,
I just can't
maybe
tell you
it's
why.
just
Because
one
I
of them
thought
where
I would.
you just need to give it one more go. Maybe.
Yeah, I'd
just
play it
see how you
again.
feel.
100%, I'll play it again. I just, it just didn't wow me.
I thought you would really like it.
I did,
Yeah, so it was a bit,
but I couldn't even tell you why. There you
No,
go.
but on the upside with Mosaic, I feel like the one thing it has done is it's made Civilization games in general more accessible. I think this one has been really appreciated by people who wouldn't normally play that type of game. I don't really even know why, whether it was the publicity or whatever the case, but I know that a lot more people that I wouldn't expect to buy it have bought it. So yeah, it's interesting thought that one.
I thought you was going to say Europa Universalis is your favourite.
No, what? Because it was so massively complicated that I never ever want to play it again. Is that why you think it was my favourite? Right, okay.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Just no. I mean, obviously, I will say, guys, now that we're kind of at the end of that question, I will say that obviously what we believe as Civilization games is what we're talking about. There are a bunch of ones like campaigny type games that I don't, it doesn't really click for me. It's not.
Well, like what?
Well, like all the different campaigns for Africa and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You could argue that's all part of the colonial kind of civilization type thing, but for us, it's that progression through time that makes it a little bit different. So if you're sat there thinking, I thought it was going to be like this, I apologise. Basically.
Yeah, well, then you get war games, haven't you? So
I felt like that was more along those lines.
Yeah,
so
I'd say they're more war games.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just our opinions, man.
So, this leads me on to, and I'm going to answer this one first, because you kind of half answered it, so I'm going to go for it. What's your least favourite civilization and why? So, my least favourite is
like the Mayans?
Through the Ages. And I love the game. I think it's a really good game, but too long between turns. Full stop.
Yeah.
That's my worst thing about it.
Yeah.
So, it's just too long between turns. You get bored in between, and, sometimes that can make you get irritated at each other, So, too long between turns.
Yeah, it's true.
So Through the Ages is going to be my one, but I'm going to leave it there because it is still a really good game as well.
It is a really good game, but it's an old school design, like what we were saying, where it is basically you go off and do all these things, and then someone else is sitting there just like,
make the team.
There's no interaction.
No, that's it.
Yeah,
100%.
so I do understand that.
So what about you, Davey? What do you think?
My worst Civilization game,
or just a mechanic maybe that you don't get on with?
Yeah, so I think I've mentioned it now as well, because out of Civilization games, I haven't played a lot, but and the worst mechanic is sometimes when you've got too much to do on your turn, and it is going to take too long. I love Monumental, but no one wants to play it or get it to the table because of the length of time between turns.
Yeah.
I think that is it. Whereas they try and cram too much in, I think. It's like, it's a Civilization game, you need to be able to do this, which is you're building, and then you're also doing your tech, which is then giving you this. And it's cool, and I like doing things like that. But if it starts taking too long, and no one else has a horse in the race, then other people aren't going to be interested. Everyone's going to lose focus around the table.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Any thoughts, Dan?
I'm quite strict on what I like about a Civ game, and I'm not overly a big fan of games that at face value look like a Civ game, and then you play them and it doesn't really play much like it. And the one that sticks out to me the most is Imperial Settlers.
Okay.
No, not played that one.
By Portal Games. Now, don't get me wrong, the game is okay, but it's an evolution of, is it the 51st State? The post-apocalyptic one?
Yeah.
So it's an evolution of that. So at face value, you're playing as Egyptians or you're playing as the Incas or that kind of thing. And you think, this could be something Civ related. And so you think, okay, maybe I'm going through the ages here, and you're building buildings, and you're building up a tableau of cards, and I think you can possibly attack other opponents as well. But it's been quite a while since I've played it. But at face value, you think, this will probably scratch a smaller itch when it comes to civilization games that probably wouldn't take 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to play. But it was completely nothing like that, and it was more engine building, and the theme was there. Great, this could be Civ, but oh wait, it's not, and it was a bit of a disappointment for me, in my opinion. But I know that it has got a lot of love, and also has got like a couple of standalone expansions to the game as well. Yeah. But it wasn't for me.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, thank you, mate. J Pizzle.
Yeah, I'm furiously looking at Civ games.
What you got to say?
Furiously looking at Civ games, yeah.
Because I'm struggling with this.
Fair enough. Any mechanic that turns you off then?
Yeah, I can't think of a game. I mean, yeah, you mentioned Through the Ages, but I kind of enjoy it. I mean, Seven Wonders I don't personally class as a Civ game. I don't know why, but
it's
I don't.
one of them.
But you like Seven Wonders
but
as
I like
well.
it. So, yeah. So I can't really say that. And for me to say Mosaic, it's quite harsh on Mosaic because I don't hate it. So I'm really struggling with this.
Maybe you just don't dislike any Civ
I don't
games specifically.
dislike any that kind of come to mind.
Have you ever tried Roll Through the Ages? Have you ever seen Roll Through the Ages?
No.
So it's a roll and write version of Through the Ages.
Okay.
And it feels so un-Civ-like. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Because you're just rolling a bunch of bones and marking a sheet and might put some pegs in a board.
Yeah.
It's for me.
There you go. That's JP's one.
Yeah, that played it, but you wouldn't like that.
No, I can't answer it,
No,
which is
fair enough.
odd for me. Usually I have an answer.
You normally got something to say.
I used
Yeah,
to do,
exactly.
You stumped me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, mark this down, everyone.
Yeah, note down the
it's a
JP had nothing to say
a
about this
pinnacle
moment.
I had no opinion.
There we are. So that pretty much concludes our discussion about civilization style games. Yeah, some really interesting points, guys. Really thanks a lot for that. But moving on. Right, and now it's time for Would You Rather. So, guys, here's your question, and I'm going to answer this one first to give you time to think about it.
You're always going first.
I know, because I'm the greedy
You said
kid.
I was the first player, one of the first player problems. It's you!
It's not even your house.
All right, Dan, you're going first. Excellent.
Let's do it.
So, Dan, would you rather be a rich Roman citizen, or would you rather be broke in modern times?
That's a really
In the
hard
UK.
question. In the UK.
In the UK.
Cost of living.
Yeah.
That's
us right
now. I don't know, because if you go back then you would have been rich, powerful, and then in Roman times, you said, yeah.
Yeah, Roman times.
So you could have gone to
It might end up getting
Colosseum or
stabbed,
something,
though.
and then end up doing thumbs up, thumbs down, and be a bit of fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But
Lots of orgies.
apparently,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm in.
Isn't that like paper folding?
But yes.
Origami?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Just the multiple of. Yeah.
I see. Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
Plural.
Origamis. I see. Nice. That's what I wear at night.
Yeah, yeah.
Origamis.
Yes, yeah.
I think Paul
I have those as well.
broke because I could come around your guys' houses and play board games.
Okay, fair enough. Oh,
It's my first podcast. I've got to be nice to him.
Oh.
So
You
yeah,
don't.
you don't.
I was going to
The
say, he
gloves are
doesn't
off.
bother to come around my house to play board games. He just demands that people go to him.
Yeah, it's because I ain't got to drive.
It is easier.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, JP does the same, to be fair.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
just
easier.
like,
It's easier.
come to me, everyone.
My wife's at work.
I'm the most
The kids need me to be at
It's like,
home.
Shall, if anyone asks, you've gone to work tonight.
Yeah.
It's alright for me. JP's around the corner, so I don't mind.
So really, it's just me. It's just me.
Yeah.
You're the problem.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fair enough.
back to it, shall we?
Anyway, thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
JP, what do you think?
I think,
Therefore, you are.
because I'm so into Hoplomachus at the minute, I'm going in the Roman era, baby.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, because I want to wear like a big toga thing.
Oh, look,
and
it's
I-
JP, the Roman rich guy.
Yeah. Just because swanning around.
Senator J. Pizzle.
Julius Patricus.
Yeah, that's
there you
me.
go. JP.
You know, I don't want to be the emperor. I'll get stabbed or something.
Well, this is
You
it.
know, it gets a bit cutthroat.
You
Just
look,
to
I
be
don't
on
think
your
even
ass,
if you're
isn't
rich, you're living that long anyway, though. This is the thing.
The old age is
I think-
already dead.
I already have gout. in the modern world. I suffer from gout right now, so I might as well have gout.
You might as well have the rich man disease.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eating the cheese
At the
and
time.
the grapes and all of the food that all the plebs have got for me. You know?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it'd be cool
Lots
to
of
watch the
red wine.
gladiators fighting, and I'll probably regret it in about 24 hours.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't take that long, I don't think, because the smell was going to be atrocious.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of things. You're
Followed
just
by
like,
that
why did
escalated
I do
quickly.
this?
And
Yeah.
that's what
feels
I always
romantic.
think about when I think I'd definitely rather be broke in the modern society, because when you look at what you wouldn't have, like even lights at night time, or like, no heating, no air conditioning.
Well, you've got heating. Here's the Romans.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are, I suppose,
Yeah.
to a certain degree.
They've got
Not
roads to a certain
reliable.
degree.
I
No.
guess.
We've got irrigation,
Aqueducts,
Yeah, some
aqueducts,
banking.
They got Mackies.
Burger Queen.
Macus, that you mean.
Yeah.
I'd be
Macus,
interested
Macus,
to know.
yeah.
Macus Donaldus.
Be interested to know
McDonald's.
what the, but yeah. So it's just a matter of, you think about simple stuff like toothpaste. Does toothpaste even exist as anything back then?
No,
So
you
your
use a
your teeth will
porcupine's
rot-
arse.
And I'd be surprised if I'm
Sort of
flipping alive at 41.
I rescind my answer. I want to be broken in my
because the average
life expectancy in
It's 30
is
something, isn't
33.
it? Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I
So
think it's
you
around
do
there.
well. In fact, we'd all be dead.
I would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
dead.
I'm living in the Roman era. That sealed it for me.
I'd rather be
Davey's
dead.
had enough. Davey's had enough.
Because you're 40,
pure
aren't you?
bliss.
42.
42, and you're in your 40s.
41.
Yeah.
40, wow, us young'uns.
Well, no.
Yeah, but the thing is I don't look 41. You look about 50. So
Welcome to the podcast, Dan.
37, right? 37.
So we'd all be dead. Is the point? Even you,
Yeah.
Davey, right?
Yeah, I'd be dead by a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I do still think I might actually live in the Romans just because
Go
it'd
on.
be a bit fun. Bit of fun.
Bit
It's
of a laugh.
romantic,
Roman-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels romantic.
Throw
Well,
the dollar
to be,
around.
to be fair, if you're loaded, you're probably going to be.
You're going to
towards
live
the
a
end-
little. You are going to
you
live a
gonna
little bit longer. You
You're
might,
going to
you know.
have good food.
30.
You
And-
want access to good health care.
Yeah, exactly.
For the
And
time, right?
if you hit the right time, you've got some real good political decisions being made, some good political impacts going on. It'd be interesting.
I've re-googled
Okay,
and I've put life expectancy of a noble in ancient Rome.
right.
All nice.
It's not
60?
unheard of to live to 60 to 70
60,
years.
yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
I'm back in Rome.
Yeah, but
He's
there's
gone back
there's
in.
no Arc Nova in Rome.
There's our
That's
Roma.
the point.
I would miss that.
Yeah.
There are board games, right? Because board
Yeah.
games go back into the BC.
Yeah, but there's
what? What is
kind
there?
of ones
Go?
are around?
Chess.
Maybe
Mancala?
you could start.
Mancala,
You
yeah.
could start a board game company back then.
Yeah, but are we talking
And
about?
come up-
Are we going Are we going Doc Brown shit now? Are we going back in time to
Oh, yeah,
live
why
there? So
not?
we already have the knowledge of the
I
present.
think we're taking this a little bit too far.
I like it
because-
though. So, how big is the time travel capsule? And can
Yeah.
I get lots of board games?
Can I
in
get
it?
lots of I like the way that's your initial thought. You could take back anything that
Yeah.
could make you the equivalent of millions of flipping.
Yeah, no, I'll just have a board games and then
Yeah, just take my board games.
and
keep
live,
it
live till
simple.
I'm 40.
But yeah, sweet.
And Starfield, please, because I'm really into that right now.
Yeah, so where can I plug in my Xbox?
Details. We'll work that out later.
Lemons.
You're so rich.
no,
You're
potatoes.
so rich. You can get people to act like Starfield out in front of you. It's
Great
fun.
idea. Yes.
Oh look! Go left. Go left. Go right. Jump.
Oh no, but leader, this is so fun. You're so wise. I know.
So
So
I'm
you're
glad
you're saying poor in this time, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Basically, as we are now.
I think.
To be fair, I think
kind
that's the
of want-
sensible choice. Do not get me wrong. Mine's more about gross intrigue rather than anything
Yeah,
else.
I
It's
think,
like
yeah, that's the point.
it's-
reality
I think
is-
it'd be harsh, but I think it'd be interesting.
The reality is we'll probably like to visit ancient Rome to
Exactly,
see what it's like
yes.
and go, no thanks.
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
back now, please.
Can we have a trial run first?
Yeah.
But
If
that's
you
not
even
what you
make
are, though,
it.
is it?
So, moving on. Alright, and moving on to the penultimate turn, where we're going to have a little bit of a chat about what we've got to look forward to. So, JP, what have you got to look forward to?
Mine's very simple.
Go on, mate.
So you guys, I've been on holiday and you've been voidfalling.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And Dan's basically stolen most of the gaming group, haven't you, Dan? Sorry. Playing Voidfall and teaching you all Voidfall. And so I've got some kind of tutorial games coming up in next week. Actually,
It's just, I guess, paying the tutorial beforehand, kind of paying that price, because you probably played it a few times, right?
well, I've only played the tutorial once.
Oh, okay,
thought
really?
you'd done it
Okay,
all,
that's not...
No,
yeah, thought
because
you'd
I
done
played
a
it
couple
once
times.
on Gaming Rules, and then I played a full game since.
Oh,
Then I was
okay.
kind of expecting to teach you lot, but Dan took the mantle, in fairness, and got you guys up to speed quicker.
Sorry.
No, it's good. So it means I don't have to do the tutorial 17 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
in that case, you're welcome.
Yeah. So hopefully this is the only tutorial I need to run, although
Yeah.
I think we've got another one coming. And then, get on with it.
I love the game, but I don't think I could do the tutorial game. I didn't like how it hit, like, stifled me so much. So when I taught someone it, I did it in co-op mode.
Yeah.
Because I was able to help him. And Taz picked up pretty quickly anyway, so it was okay. So the co-op mode was pretty good.
I don't mind. It's a quicker game anyway, so I think
It is a quicker game.
It just helps people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Sweet.
Some more Voidfall goodness.
Nice.
Game.
Davey?
So I've been hard at work building the office, which is also going to be part games room,
Nice.
with putting in like a little pop-down table from the wall, so it's
Cool.
sort of fold down, and then be able to fit everyone in to play games around mine finally, which would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So I'll be able to host. So that's what I'm looking forward to, really, because then I can start putting in more Voidfall, Gaia Project, and
the games that you want to play.
Barrage. Yeah, because Barrage is hitting one of
Kerley's
my
favourite.
top 5 games as well. Oh, the more I play the game, the more I love it. It's just
Let's play it.
it's
Did
so...
you back the Kickstarter?
No, I kept looking at it, and I just bought Voidfall. And I couldn't
fair enough.
justify.
Yeah.
Couldn't justify. So the story of me getting Voidfalls is quite. I felt so bad for my poor cousin because she lives in Birmingham, and the guy, I got it for about £200, so it was quite a good price. But he didn't want to post it. And I was like, look, I'll send a courier around. No. So okay, my cousin lives kind of near you. I'll get her to pick it up. It means we can play it and go through it. I was like, okay, cool. So she was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll go do that. And then she picked it up, and
How heavy is this?
Yes, massive board game. I'd already paid for the delivery. She took it there, and they were like, we don't have a print-off service, even though it said online it did. So they couldn't print the sticker off. And it's got it, and it's meant to be wrapped. So Bessa, she had to go out and wrap this parcel for me.
She bet she loved you.
And print it out and send it to me. And it's all come to me and it's all fine. So thank you, Kirsty. But yeah, I'm now going up to Birmingham to go visit her because I felt so bad. But yeah, it was just nice to go see family as well. But I was just like, oh my God, this has ended up being an absolute...
You definitely owe her a takeaway or something.
Yes, yeah. I'll take her out shopping. But yeah. Thank you.
But you got Voidfall, right?
I got Voidfall. Yes.
That's 3 of us in the group that own it now.
Yeah.
No.
I really love it, but I just don't feel the need because you guys have all got copies of it.
Yeah.
How's your Eclipse going?
So yeah, I've just got a copy. Hey, look, only you've got Eclipse.
Yeah. True.
And my brother loves that game, and it's nice because you can always make it to like my birthday and stuff, and I always want to play it. So, JP, it's just
Sorry,
know
mate.
when I have my show, when I
You
have my
missed one
recently-
birthday. You missed one birthday. And then
I missed it too. For what it's worth. You're not on your own.
I didn't want to go.
Fair.
No,
Yeah,
I did.
but
I did
that's
really.
the point. Is that you always don't want to go to my birthdays, and Dan can never be bothered to come to my house full stop. So I have to buy the games in order to play them.
I'm only playing.
I know. But yeah, I am actually genuinely. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it. Which leads on very nicely to what I'm looking forward to. I'm just going to talk about my holiday. I will say an honourable mention. I've just pre-ordered a couple of games.
Oh, wait.
What? One of them's obvious that you suggested, which I've done now. Art Nova Marine Worlds.
Nice.
Yes.
So I've just pre-ordered that one. I've ordered, although it is kind of brand new, the Lost Expeditions for Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to
We
playing
saw that Gamescom, didn't we?
UKGE, yeah.
UKGE, yeah.
But anyway, I'm being greedy because actually that wasn't really one of the ones I was talking about. But I'm going on holiday tomorrow.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
similar to JP, I'm off to Florida tomorrow for 2 weeks. We fly Saturday morning actually, and this is Thursday today, but we're off to the hotel tomorrow.
Jealous.
Yeah, going to Disney.
You've been!
I know,
Animal-
I'm still jealous.
Animal Kingdom, staying in Animal Kingdom.
Oh,
for
is that
2
where you're
weeks.
staying?
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Florida anyway. It's going to be really good fun. I had a
love
great
it.
time the last time I was there.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Same.
Looking forward to going to the Star Wars bit the most.
Yes.
So What's
Can
it?
I get a lightsaber?
Rise of the Resistance
Yeah.
was absolutely fantastic last time I went, so I'm looking forward to that. Go on, Davey.
Can I get a lightsaber?
Probably not. Just
I got
because
one.
I
You got
love it, but I mean, no offense, JP, but it's a lot of money to spend on a lightsaber.
Oh, it's absolutely
You've got
ridiculous.
sword. You've got Lord of the Rings swords.
Yeah, but I love Lord of the Rings, mate. I really
you like-
like Star Wars, and the experience is amazing. But I definitely Lord of the Rings is my bag, you know. So
Fine.
yeah,
I think that moment going around Galaxy's Edge for me was when I was the most quiet of the whole holiday. I was just looking around going, oh my God.
yeah, it's amazing.
I can't believe this is the detail, the everything they've put in there. This is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, even blue and green milk, wasn't it?
Yeah, got the milk.
Did you have any blue milk?
No, we didn't do the milk, but we got like the Coke bottles, which are the kind of look like thermal detonators.
Yeah.
And got those. Bought some of those home as well because they're quite cool. But
Yeah.
yes, I did go and buy a lightsaber,
Yeah.
which was amazing. Rob
I
bought
actually
some as well.
really love the thematics as well in the Avatar bit in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, the Pandora.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Loved it in there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's all good.
Well, even like the restaurant was beautiful, and they had specific foods that were made up to be like Avatar.
Well, they've
and
lost
all
us
that
two
kind of
now, so you know as they talk about.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Florida. Welcome to Florida.
How's your piece?
Do you want to go to Weymouth for the night or what?
Oh yeah, no, I thought we were going to Ham Hill.
Yeah, we could go to Ham Hill.
Yeah, we can live up like the old days. We can get some white
I
light.
can't guarantee whether you'll be violated or not, but you might be.
That's fine with me. It's Ham Hill.
That's a different Pandora you're talking.
What happens on Ham Hill stays on Ham Hill.
No, it doesn't even stay on Ham Hill. Let's face it.
Fair enough.
No.
But yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Going away for a couple of weeks, just chilling out.
Yeah,
Nice.
jealous.
Nice.
I need a holiday.
Same. I'm looking forward to two things: more Starfield, and I'm looking forward to Septima. In a
Nice.
few weeks.
Yeah.
When's that coming then?
It's at the
Not
end of the
long now.
month. I think it's not
Yeah.
long away now. A few weeks away.
Ready for Halloween, I reckon.
I reckon so.
Oh,
if not before,
good timing.
Before, yeah, so I reckon that won't be long. So
Becky's really up for Septima.
Really?
wants
It looks
to
good.
do
I'm
this.
up for it as well.
It's a great
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
played
I'm
already,
really-
haven't
I've
you?
played it, it's
Yeah,
great.
not played it. So anything Mind Clashy, I'll read the premise and I'll look at a little bit of the mechanics, but I don't want to spoil it. I want to enjoy it when I open
midway.
the box. Yeah.
Oh,
And
maybe
that's okay.
midway with a bit, but it's not. It's not their
not Mind
lightest.
Clash.
It's not their Mind Clash play.
No.
But it's
Where-
nice.
What game equivalent would you put it complexity wise?
What of theirs that they've done?
No, just generally.
Oh God.
Like Art Nova, TM.
You'd say it's more like
Yeah.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, kind of
That's
like
always, whenever I think about
Lorenzo-y.
Midway, I always think about those midweight Euros.
Yeah.
They always sit in that.
I'd be interested to
Lorenzo.
see what weight it does get. I even know it's probably on there already,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's still enough crunch in it, and it's still
Like
enough.
3.7.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think a 3.8
It'd be in the
probably.
threes, I would have thought.
Not Voidfall's 4.5.
No,
No.
no, it's not. It's not up there, and I think you might probably compare it to. I mean, even an Aprony base. I mean, that's still heavy, but
that's
it's
still heavy.
But it's
That's still
it's
heavy. That
still
still sits
light.
there
It's
like
still
a four.
lighter.
Yeah,
than
but
that.
I like the crunch, so bring on
Yeah.
the crunch.
Yeah.
But it's a nice game. There's one thing that we've all forgotten to mention that we're all looking forward to,
Oh yeah, Essen.
which is Essen.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're really looking forward
Apart
to
from
that.
Dan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, well, that's the point, is that collectively, right, we're all kind of looking forward to Essen, apart from Dan, who's not welcome.
Yeah.
Because he's just turned up for the podcast, so he has to go for his initiation.
Let's go for initiation
And
first.
Yeah.
and Unfortunately, we haven't got time to run the
And-
initiation because we're going to Essen.
Yeah, my ceremonial robes haven't arrived yet.
No. But no, serious now.
It's just JP's Roman gear. That's all it is.
Is it?
The
Oh, okay.
robes. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, on a serious note, we look very much looking forward to going. We've known
Yeah.
nothing about Essen. No one's ever been in our gaming group. So we're just going to go and explore it as kind of punters, right? We're going to go and just experience Essen for the first time.
I'm going to put something out controversial which you wouldn't expect from me. I'm quite looking forward to the trip over with you bunch of fucking nutcases.
What?
Because it's like the idea of being trapped in a car going across the kind of European continent almost.
Go through
We
four
did this with the
countries, four
expo. We
countries.
did this with the expo. You know, it was sing song all the way. But you're going to have that for hours.
Yeah, this is why I'm a little bit nervous about saying it, but I am quite looking forward to that, but I'm also a little bit worried. You know, having noisy
We
old JP.
can film
my-
parts
my
of it, and then
wife
we'll
as
do
well.
the whole, where you draw along the road, and it's like us and the little mini wagon going down, and then pans back
National
to us
Lampoon
singing.
style.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what's really good though? Because this episode gets released whilst we're driving over.
Really? Is
Yeah,
that-
yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
as people are listening to this right now, they're going to think of you in the car
Going off
with Cheesy Bangers 2023 edition.
Cheesy bangers.
and going, oh my god, kill me now. Because I think what I've said is the journey's about 8-9 hours
Yeah.
door to door, roughly. Obviously, you've got the channel tunnel and the stops and stuff. And I think if everyone has a good hour and a half slot DJing,
Yeah.
then they can kind of request what to put on.
Heavy drum and bass. That's what I'm going to be putting on.
Jesus
Heavy drum and bass.
As long as I can have my earphones in.
Okay, it's 9
I'll be
hours of
stopping off
80.
I'll be stopping off at Calais. I'm done. I've had enough. I've heard one too many thuds.
But no, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a laugh. It's going to be good. It's always good to go away with you boys and Becky.
Yes.
It's going to be good fun.
I'll just wait here.
And you
So
wait.
really-
You hold the fort.
I'll
You hold the
I'm going to hold the fort.
Thanks, mate.
I'm sure that I will get up to a few board game related
It
shenanigans
will
while
make
you're away.
me enjoy it more thinking about you being sad back in the UK.
I aim to please.
Thanks, mate. Right, guys, so this is my final episode of my 3-episode stint. So,
Well done, mate.
Thanks, mate. Much appreciate it.
Slog.
Yeah.
God, I've only been here for one. Jeez,
What am I
what?
going to say? It's
not
Davey's
work.
first one with me, and it's your first episode, and it's already categorised as a slog. Brilliant.
It's only because when you said stint, I was like, it sounds like it's been a bit of a...
Civilization through the ages. I've been all through the ages. Oh.
I've been through through the ages with you, pair, on this bloody pod, that's for sure. But anyway, so I'm going to be handing over to JP, who's going to be the first player from the next 3 episodes. So
Yeah. Take it a bit earlier than planned, but scheduling around people's availability. We're coming up to Christmas. Certain people have jobs where they're just absolutely rammed. So we just thought I'd kind of take the next kind of run. And got some cool stuff coming, some good conversations. And and then after that, we'll see what's happening. But yeah.
not asking you to say what it is, mate, but have you got an idea of your episodes this time?
Yeah, I've got all locked and
You got it
loaded,
all
but I'm
locked and
not
loaded.
telling you.
Wait.
It's a tease.
Yeah,
Oh, you
too right.
tease.
I like to tease. No, I'm really
Nothing
excited for them. I think,
And with that, it's come to our final turn. We're wrapping up. We're going to count up all of our victory points. Thanks to everyone for listening. If you'd enjoyed the show, please subscribe and review on your podcast player of choice. And we ask you to share the podcast with at least one other person you think who would enjoy it. If you want to get in contact with the show or on our socials, you can email Facebook, Insta, TikTok, Board Game Geek and Threads now. We'll be back again in 2 weeks' time with another episode. Until then, whose turn is it?